Coming up on today's show, we're going to explain why Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Jaxon Smith-Njigba is shocking the NFL here in his sophomore campaign. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we go any further in today's show, though, I need the 12s to stand up loud and clear and let our voices be heard that we're rooting on JSN. Who knows? He may be watching, maybe somebody in his family or a close friend. We want to let it be known that we're rooting on JSN and hope that he continues to have a big season here in 2024 and beyond. Like the video, do your part. Let's get at least 500 likes for JSN, and we'll get going here on Seahawks Today. Nobody knows this, but Jaxon Smith-Njigba is off to quite the impressive start to 2024. For all that's been made about this Seahawks offense with how Geno Smith has looked, leading the league in passing yards, DK Metcalf having 3 straight 100-yard receiving games. First time that's happened ever in franchise history. JSN is having a sneaky good season, folks. Let's explain a little further. You look at the NFL receiver rankings. JSN right now ranks 6th in the league in catches with 25, 12th in the NFL in targets with 33, and he's in the top 25 in receiving yards with 226. And you think about it, that is in a crowded receiving room with DK, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, and you got some pretty good receiving backs involved as well. He is miles ahead of where he was at this point in his rookie season a year ago. And by comparison, to show you some numbers of what we're talking about here, folks, in 2023, in the first 4 games, JSN had a total of 12 catches for 62 yards. And you compare that to what he's done now in the first 4 games this year, what a difference, right? 25 catches, 226 yards, 9 yards of reception. He hasn't gotten into the end zone yet. More on that coming up later. But it's not just even the raw statistics that tell that story. If we take it a little further and look at the nerd numbers from Pro Football Focus, let's show you how his PFF numbers compare now to what they were in 2023. His offensive grade so far this year is 67.2. His receiving grade, a 69.4. His drop number, much better. One of the best in the NFL, a 76.1. You saw it earlier. He's catching almost every pass that comes his direction. And his fumble number, very solid as well, a 76.1. And overall, we talk about the pace of comparing this season to last season. The numbers he put up as a rookie, he had a solid year. No one was complaining about him having 63 catches for 628 yards and 4 touchdowns and 10 yards a reception. But he is certainly well above that pace of what he was last year. His numbers right now, if he continues at this pace, are going to keep up to even go way further than what they did last year. His PFF grades last season, for example, had a 63.3 offensive grade, a receiving grade of 63.9. The drop grade, we showed you how good it was for this year. Last year was a 47.1. Fumble grade was a little bit better, but still not going to complain about a 76.1 when you had an 80.6 in 2023. But overall, very good numbers from JSN. A big leap forward that all of us were hoping and expecting to see out of JSN here in year 2. Do you believe in Jaxon Smith-Njigba? Are you all in on JSN? Weigh in on our pinned comment today and let us know. Type B for believe, D for don't. Chime in the comment section. All this week, we are in a sub-battle with our Giants channel. Go home, Marshy! Marshall Green, the host of Giants Now. Great guy, great friend, but I would love nothing more than to crush his ass in a sub-battle this week. We don't want to beat the Giants just on the football field, but we want to beat them off the football field as well and show why we have the best fans in the National Football League. For daily Seahawks coverage, in addition to our watch parties every game day, including this Sunday against the Giants, as well as our weekly live shows, our Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more, you got to be subscribed to Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Never miss a moment. Lock us in. You'll be glad you did. So let's take a step further and talk about the impact of JSN here. And one thing I want to point to is his ability on third down. He has been the go-to guy for Geno Smith on third down through the first 4 games of the season, showing a lot of value in those positions. Let me explain a little bit further. He's tied for 4th among all receivers in third down conversions so far in 2024 with 7. He's 3rd in third down success rate at 70%. So you don't have to be a genius to look at that and say, okay, get the ball to JSN on third down and it's going to work out 3 out of 4 times. He's 8th in third down targets since 2023. So even as a rookie, he was very good at getting open in those crucial down situations. And since 2023, he's 10th in the NFL in third down total conversions. So those numbers tell me that when the Seahawks are in a bind, when they're needed to make a play, they can rely on, they can trust JSN in those big moments when they matter most. Here's some chat stats for you here when it comes to the Seahawks offense on third down this season. In plays of 10 yards or less, which is what we typically talk about JSN, right? The possession receiver. The Seahawks have a conversion rate so far this season of 20 of 31. That's 64.5%, second best in the NFL, and Geno's only been sacked 1 time in those circumstances. And Geno, to his credit, has been very good on third downs himself, using JSN and others, as in those situations of third downs of 10 yards or less, he's 16 of 21 for 155 passing yards with 13 first downs. So then, now that we sit here and we say, all right, JSN's looking pretty good, he's pretty reliable, dependent, and a good force on third down, where can he elevate his play? What is the next step from here? And for me, I look at, this is not necessarily on JSN. We've seen when he's used in the deep passing game that he can be a vertical threat, that he can be a force to be reckoned with. We all remember the Monday night game last year against the Philadelphia Eagles when he had that game-winning touchdown, right? Well, I think that they need to get the ball more to JSN on those deeper routes. They need to use him on the outside more. That's one of the things we were told was going to happen this year. We haven't seen a whole lot of it just yet. Right now, his average yards of depth, 8.1, is the same that it was in 2023. And if you use him more in the route tree in the deep passing game, that should also result in more touchdowns. Because right now, JSN has the most targets of any receiver in the NFL without a touchdown catch. So hopefully that changes here pretty soon. Before we go any further in today's show, let's tell you about our sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Maybe you want tickets to the Giants game this weekend. You can get those on Game Time. You choose the seat you want to sit in. You get the visual with their seat views, that 3D look, and then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, you're not going to want to pass that up. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Glad to have Game Time on board here on today's show. So now what changes going forward for JSN and this offense? Opposing defenses cannot take Jaxon Smith-Njigba for granted. They have to respect this man. RESPECT. That's what it means to me. That's what it means to JSN. Shout out Whitney Houston, baby. Brian Dable, the head coach of the New York Football Giants this week, when talking about this matchup with Seattle, who was he talking about? JSN. He said this: Jaxon Smith-Njigba has really come along. He's doing a great job in the slot. But you notice that thing? The slot. Yeah, slot's nice. Let's expand the route tree a bit. JSN is the next piece to this puzzle for this Seattle offense taking that next step. I know everybody talks about the offensive line, and I feel like that's a given at this point. Yes, the offensive line needs to improve. But I think for this offense to reach its full potential, it's got to be more JSN. It's got to be using him on the outside and in the deep passing game more. Mike Macdonald said this on the Seahawks 3-1 start this week. It's obvious we're not the team we want to be yet, and we shouldn't be where we want to be. We have time to grow as a football team. We have a short week, so we have to have a sense of urgency about it, and we need to take the next step. The next step is JSN, and using him to stretch the field more. It's a missing piece to this Seahawks offense right now. If we were to look at the route tree, the chart here that you can see on your screen for JSN of what he's done so far this year, you can see he's owned the middle of the field. That's been very good for him. But what do you see when it comes to that deep route tree? No receptions on the outside left. No receptions deep between the numbers. No receptions on the outside right. And it's not that he can't do it. It just, you can see, hasn't been used. Only 4 attempts even to get him out there in those situations. I personally believe JSN can easily reach 1,000 yards. But in order to get the most out of him and for this offense to be the most effective, they're going to need to expand that route tree and give JSN more opportunity to let him shine. Will JSN go over 1,000 this season? I think so. What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. In the comment section, let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, do your part, like the video, show JSN some love, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.